What is up, everybody? Welcome to ToothAndTailTV, the show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going, guys? I really appreciate it, man. Already have a lot of things to shout out, so thanks, Valeris, man, with the host, Miss Liquor with the raid, Best Sakia with the raid, Valeris with the bit cheer, Miss Liquor with the bit cheer. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I just saw Ready Player One after work today, man, so I just had to like rush back to the house and get the show going. But I think everything is pretty good. I liked it. It was a fun movie, man. I read the book, so I'm a little bit book snobbing on it at the moment, right? Because you know, everybody who reads the books, man, is always like, oh, the book's so much better. There's a little bit of that involved, but I still thought it was a fun movie. It was a good time. It's been a while. I hadn't been to the movie theater. Me and my wife went out, but I think the last time I went to see a movie was It, so it's been a little while. I actually really like the It remake. You know, we read the book, and obviously we love the old school It, you know, from the 80s or early 90s or whatever, VHS. It's super bad movie, but it's also like cult classic-y, you know. Tim Curry, obviously, so really fun stuff. But anyways, guys, oh, you know what? Yeah, I set the show up in a rush, and I actually forgot my controller, so give me 1 second, guys. Let me go find my controller, and then we will get started. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I found it. I found the controller. We're in motion here. Don't forget, man, Pedro's Time Zone Showdown is coming up here soon. It's actually going to be on Saturday, 2 p.m. EST. It's going to be me and Strawberry casting it. North America versus EU, man. You know what? Actually, I know I keep delaying the first replay here. My bad, guys, but I want to go ahead and give that a little bit better of a shout out. So if you look underneath the Twitch chat in my events section, there's a link to the Google Doc. I'm not so sure if the time is correct on that Google Doc. I haven't double checked it, but we did decide to do it at 2 p.m. EST. It's going to be a little bit of a short tournament just because the way it's set up. So we might just hang out afterwards and, you know, chill, play some games. So the European team is going to be as Rodham, Jed Erickson, the Gentleman, Blitzrider, Amari, Kermit, and Essenculler. And the North American team is Butterluster, CJ Manjansen, Valeris, Darius Hart, Doggo, Mishi, the Red Dinosaur, Master Wario, and Chip from Space. So I'm super excited, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely show up and represent your your continent, man, and have a good time with us. So, all right, guys, without any further ado, let's hop into match number 1 here. I am taking some last-minute submissions, too, tonight, guys. So if you have a replay, shoot it over to ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. I'll probably get it on the show. Miss Clicker says, oh, shit, those teams don't see balance. Yeah, EU's team is pretty good, man, but North American team's not bad either, I believe. You know, we got some good players on there for sure. You can't underestimate guys like Valeris and Master Wario. The Gentleman is a beast right now, though. Winning things left and right. And don't forget about Tooth and Tail League going on as well, man, on Best Sakia and A's channel. Class S matches should be underway, so check that out, guys. But all right, enough messing around, man. Let's hop into match number 1 here. All right, spawning on the left, we've got Miss Glicker. he's streaming all the time, man. So definitely check out Mistlicker's channel. And on the right, we've got Blue Cat. Blue Cat, big supporter of the show as well. So, all right, let's take a look at it. So far, not looking the best for Mistlicker here. You know, most of these gristmills are on Blue Cat's side of the map. Mistlicker does get this campfire, which could help if he wants to go for some kind of one base strategy. He's got Squirrel Mole, so he's got the potential to do that. But speaking of moles, Blue Cat's over here trying to place a proxy mole. Was hoping that maybe that terrain would block the line of sight, but Mistlicker sees what's going on. And he doesn't have turrets. He could have built his own mole, but he's fairly confident in the squirrel's capability to get out in time to deal with this mole. So let's see if he's correct. It gets real close, but yeah, the squirrel's out now, and Blue Cat's going to try to focus fire. A little bit of counter micro, though. Mistlicker keeps it alive, and that Warren might actually go down here. Oh, and it doesn't, and Mistlicker barely saves it. That's a big victory for him. Blue Cat's going to be very delayed. Not only because he lost that 60 food worth of a mole, obviously, but also his money got really high in that engagement. So now he's just coming home to you know, slam some structures down. And Blue Cat's actually going to follow this up with even more aggression, opting for double Warren here. And it looks like Mistlicker got that scout off, so he knows what's going to happen. And yeah, let's see how he responds. I mean, he's got a little bit of food now, but he's just getting off the back of a large scout. So yeah, obviously gonna need some more Warrens here. And I think he's gonna be just fine because he had that one Warren, you know, so early to deal with that mole pressure. He's got plenty of squirrels here, and that timing window, you know, that the double Warren opening is trying to exploit this like seven farm Warren or 8 farm, you know, straight up openings, right, where you can approach your opponent and have 3 to 4 extra squirrels, and really put some hurt on the enemy if they're not expecting it. But you typically haven't seen a lot of like 4 farm double, 5 farm double strategy lately in the metagame, mainly because if you can identify it, you can adjust and kind of checkmate that build, right? Like, you know, you could 5 farm double, you know, somebody who's not so sure how to answer it and probably have a good time. But if the opponent knows how to respond, they're going to wind up ahead of you. You're not going to be able to get any damage done. Not really a good example this game, I suppose, because the early game was a little different, but nothing crazy. You know, they're going to stabilize. Yeah, Blue Cat came out a little bit behind on that early game, but they're both getting to, you know, 4 tier 1s. They're getting their skunks out. Mistlicker's getting his skunk a little earlier, takes that campfire. But, you know, this map isn't the end of the world for Mistlicker here. He's going to have to spread out. Like, technically, both players here get 2 gristmills and a campfire. It's just that Mistlicker's kind of got to go up to the top to get his. But Blue Cat doesn't have any units like lizards that could really take advantage of an opponent that's real spread out, right? So I feel like he should be in good shape. And Blue Cat's not really in an aggressive stance this game. He's playing a little bit on the back foot, so a lot of it comes down in RTS games to psychology, believe it or not. You know, there's certain points where you just don't feel confident enough to attack. I'm not necessarily saying that's going on this game, but that can definitely play a factor when you're spreading out, when you have to take gristmills across the map. You know, if your opponent maybe takes a bad engagement, they might get a little shy for the next couple minutes and gives you opportunity to go get established elsewhere. But here we go, man. Blue Cat's moving in here and kind of catching Mistlicker a little bit with his pants down. Licker was trying to get up a lot of tier 2 here, while Blue Cat just went out for a ton of tier 1 and wants to execute this attack, which so far is working out well for him. But if Mistlicker defends this correctly, he could be in good shape. Blue Cat probably could have committed there, but wants to be safe and starts retreating, which could definitely be a pain in Tooth and Tail. As you can see, he lost that skunk on the way out, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I feel like if Blue Cat stayed and target fired the tier 2, perhaps, he could have been in a good spot. He was 4 to 5 squirrels up when he started retreating. So I'm really not so sure. You know, a lot of times, Tooth and Tail is a very fast-paced game, you know, and one bad engagement or one bad call could really cost you everything. So I don't mind seeing players, you know, kind of backing out and not overcommitting. Because, you know, as we see here, like, they're pretty stabilized. The big difference, though, is Blue Cat is actually getting this Badger out, and I don't believe Mistlicker has scouted that, yeah. So that's really, really important, man. Badger is a very strong unit. And you need to identify when your opponent is going for a tier 3 as fast as possible so you can kind of pivot and adjust to that. But looks like Liquor kind of knows what's up. You know, he's getting some snakes out, which are generally good against tier 3. Both players trying to take an expansion here. And as you can see, yeah, since Liquor is kind of in the driver's seat here, you know, it doesn't matter so much that his second bases are a bit spread out. And Blue Cat's kind of intentionally spreading himself out here, saving this as his third base because it's going to be easier later on. But this is a really nice high ground for Blue Cat here. I like that expansion a lot. It's pretty defensible. Neither player really having a lot of defense here. You know, Blue Cat just having the turret. It's going to lay one down. I like to see that a lot. And we're almost at the 6-minute mark here, so adding an extra farm or two on the additional bases is definitely a good idea. And I think Miss Liquor's had that second, that campfire he had, for a significant amount of time, about a minute and a half, longer than Blue Cat did. So it's a decent extra income that Liquor's got at this point. Liquor's trying to come around, but the Badger just spawns. And Blue Cat's not in position. He might, oh my god. Okay, I was about to say he might get so lucky and just happen to catch that Badger right when it's coming out, but pretty good attack here from Miss Liquor. Actually, the Gristmill not gonna die. Wow, I thought for sure those snake stacks would get it. But the Badger is here, cleans up that army fairly well. I mean, this Gristmill, it doesn't really matter if it's alive or dead anymore. You know, all the pigs got wiped out there, and Blue Cat would never take those farms again. It's just not worth it at this point to pay 60 food for a farm that's almost mined out, right? So this is rough for Liquor at this point, man. Blue Cat's got the Badger, and the Badger is very strong and hard to deal with. So Miss Liquor is going to have to take a very good engagement here and target fire this Badger correctly to have a chance to win this game. Let's see, he's coming in. Now, most of the pigeons are gone, and Miss Liquor does have snakes. He's kind of pivoting over to more and more snakes, which I like, because snakes are a really good answer to tier 3. You know, you get a bunch of those poison stacks up on that Badger, and you know, it's a lot easier to kill it. So that's what Liquor is going to be going for here. But really, these second base economies tell a big tale as well. Blue Cat is way ahead in income at this point. You know, Miss Liquor basically dropped down to almost nothing, and farming very slowly at this point. So here he goes. He's coming in for a big engagement here. As you can see, he's really trying hard to target fire this commander, but his snakes die kind of right out the gate. And but it looks like he's gonna have enough damage here. He's gonna knock that Badger out. Well played by Miss Liquor, and maybe a little bit cocky there by Blue Cat, man. Really committing the Badger to that fight, and Miss Liquor had enough to take it down, man. Falcons do a lot of damage. Snake poison obviously helps a lot. Now he's dealing this critical damage to Blue Cat's natural. Blue Cat, let's see him, man. He's going for the last-ditch effort Molol in here. We see guys do this a lot lately, man, where when there's kind of like no more hope, you know, you sell all your stuff, build as many moles as you can, and just try to target fire down these Gristmills as quickly as possible. But I believe Miss Liquor should be winning this base race here. Now, granted, those skunks don't hit buildings, but yeah, this Gristmill's already super low, and he's got enough with the Falcons, with the squirrels he's got. These moles are going to take quite some time to take out that campfire Gristmill, and Liquor takes the game. Very well played, and nicely done dealing with that Badger. Alright guys, let us hop into the next match here. We're going to go into a free-for-all game. So let's get into it. Okay, this is a free-for-all, right? Yeah, okay. Alright, cool. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Fetaflex. And also at the bottom, very close to him, there's Dingo Dancing. Red Dinosaur over here to the right. And up top, we've got Sledge. Have we seen... I don't think we've seen this before, have we? We might have. We might have seen this one before. If somebody recognizes it, let me know. I feel like I've seen something similar where I was looking at Sledge's position like, man, he's got this in the long run. But, man, free-for-all games are crazy. It's hard to remember all of them, so... No, I don't. You know what? I don't think we've seen this because I don't think I recognize the name Fetaflex. So this is a dank replay, guys. It's nice and fresh. So Dingo Dancing, man, going real hardcore aggression, and that's kind of funny in free for all because the way to win. Oh, actually, he changes his mind, and instead gonna get a balloon. I think he recognized that green is just right there. So man, if he can get that balloon down, that's gonna be a real pain in the ass for Fetaflex. So, but yeah, in free for all, right? Like the thought I was trying to make, and got a little distracted there, was like, you know, as the greediest player, the player that gets left alone, is in the best position to win in the long run. So if you're going for an aggressive strategy, you're basically saying, you know, I'm not gonna win this game, but I'm gonna kill somebody. And why not in a free for all, man? Like free for alls are just for fun. But this balloon war, man, Fetaflex had balloons of his own, and his balloon is actually in range to hit Dingo Dance's farms here, so that is very, very painful for Dingo Dancing. Unfortunately, this balloon. Now, actually, you know what? I think this balloon is in range of these 3 farms here. It looks like there was a pig there that died. So Fetaflex getting a little bit of the pain himself. Can't tap into 3 of his farms there. And Red Dino, on the other hand, is just kind of building up a ton of squirrels. Sledge is, man, Sledge. Oh, dude. The balls on this kid, man. He just builds up a lot of barbed wire and gets this fox like immediately, and he's going hardcore. Like he's not gonna supply block this fox, man. He saved the money for it, and there he goes. It's on the way. So Sledge is really, really investing into his fox micro here. I love this move out of Dingo Dancing to just kind of expand, you know, to kind of try to get away from this position. But if Fetaflex can bully Dingo Dancing to get out of here and force him, you know, over to this side of the map, then I mean, Fetaflex is living large, you know. He's got these 3 bases here. I mean, look at this. There's no ramp. Oh, that is so painful. He's got the ferrets. This is just dirty, man. But up here, Red Dino is keeping the pressure down on Sledge. And now is Red Dino... Oh, whoops, I just missed it. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Red Dino is aware of that tier 3 that Sledge has. He knows what's up. And he's been trying to break in here, but Sledge has been able to hold him off for now just with this barbed wire and a little bit of pig reinforcement. So, but this ferret Fetaflex is just doing some work on Dingo Dancing, and Dingo Dancing, you know, realizes what's in the stars here, understands that that's not going to last forever, already starts his second base by fully saturating over there, so he might actually come out of this just fine, I guess for the time being, as long as the other players leave him alone, right, because he has no army. But Sledge now has this fox out, and Red Dino deflected it very well with this balloon. You know, he's even got this expansion here, so he's in okay shape, regardless of the amount of units that he lost earlier. But if Sledge, oh man, if Sledge discovers this base, he hasn't scouted it yet. Okay, oh man, that would be so dirty. Okay, well, Dingo's getting out some units now. But Sledge, dude, if Sledge actually found that 9 o'clock base, he could have absolutely devastated every pig there. No problem, no harm, no foul, man. But he's going to come in here and try to poke down on Fetaflex, which again has a balloon. It's actually, all 3 of these players here have the balloon, which is a very good answer to the fox. But Sledge still isn't hip to the fact that that Dingo has his base. And, you know, surprisingly, I'm not so sure what I missed down here, but Feta stopped this siege on Dingo's base that Dingo was basically given up as dead, right? So, I mean, that's going to put him in a great spot. Red Dino's economy is getting up. Now, keep in mind that these farms are just now starting. And Dingo has had this 11 farm economy for quite some time now. So, let's see it, man. Sledge trying to get out on the map. Now he knows what's up. Oh, wait. Oh, no. What just happened? All right, yeah. Finally, Fetaflex finishes off that base. But now Sledge knows what's up. But now Dingo has some units here. And, you know, Fox going up to high ground. Ferret's constantly firing on it. It's going to be rough. These pigeons are going to give Sledge some high ground vision, though. It's going to make this a lot easier for him. But even still, you know, he risks losing some of these squirrels here to the ferrets, which I guess obviously is the biggest deal in the world. But yeah, now Dingo has enough money to get that balloon out, and that's essentially going to force this fox to have to back out for now. And Sledge is in a bad spot, to be honest, man. Like, he doesn't have a good second base option to him. You know, he's been trying to take this one, but it's very contestable there with Dingo dancing so close. And Red Dino over here, you know, has really got himself in a fantastic setup. These balloons kind of fending off the ferrets, fending off the fox, giving him some breathing room to get out Badger Wolf combo, which is going to be absolutely sick. And yeah, I mean, this really seems like Red Dino and Feta are in some pretty good spots. I feel like Red Dino has a better late game army than Feta does, but Feta has access to 3 gristmills, and I wouldn't even mind seeing Feta take this one too, right, as a fourth. I mean, yeah, the farms are mined on a little bit, but he can probably still get some decent value out of that. And meanwhile, Red Dino is kind of in the same boat. He's got 3 bases, you know, pretty damn good in a 4-player free-for-all. And Sledge and Dingo here are gonna struggle in the next couple of minutes. We're at the 6-minute 30 mark at the moment, so second bases are becoming more and more of a big deal. Now, granted, Dingo is going to be on quote-unquote 1 base for a lot longer comfortably than Sledge, right? Because Dingo kind of reset his 1 base, you know, a few minutes into the game. Well, let's see, man. The Wolf's out, and it's buffing the Fox, and Dingo's been creeping up over here, though, man. Dingo's army's pretty damn good at this point. I don't think Sledge could really take this in a straight fight, especially not under these balloons. So Dingo might have actually successfully expanded here. Obviously, Sledge doesn't want to let this happen, so he's going to come in here and try to do what he can. But these balloons are just doing such a good job of zoning out this Fox, which is, you know, the real backbone of Sledge's army. So he should be just fine. But a big engagement coming down here from Red and Green, almost losing the Badger, his Red Dinosaur, but backs it out in time. And again, this is a rough position for a Badger to try to fight into. You know, lots of balloons, some ferrets. Granted, Feta doesn't have a whole lot of tier 1 here, but he's got a Fox on the way. Which, dude, there's so many balloons on the board right now. Like, 11 balloons, man. Yeah, Sledge is just desperate at this point. He's got to get a second base going, man. He's on 0 farms. He's not starving because the campfire is not represented in the farm count, so he's on 1 farm, technically, you know. But here we go. Comes in, actually manages to kill a balloon, which is a pretty big deal. But that second balloon there and Dingo's army is probably going to be enough to force Sledge back for now. Sledge still trying to come in and poke and prod where he can. But at the same time, Feta just denies that second base attempt for Sledge. It's unfortunate for Sledge, man, because Sledge went for such a bold strategy. Like, in general, especially in a free-for-all. Like, 8-farm Fox, with just a whole bunch of barbed wire. It was cute, man, but can't get the economy established at this point. I don't think Sledge is super long for this world. You know, he's got about as long as this campfire lasts, so maybe another minute or 2 before he just simply mines out. All right. Oh man, now this is dirty. So Dingo can start comfortably applying some pressure on the Sledge. And let's see, man. Sledge sold everything. He's got moles. Who's he gonna do? Who's gonna get it? Where's Sledge's commander? Where's Bellified? Oh, there's Bellified. All right, we got him. I mean, Sledge knows he's gonna lose at this point, so he just wants to come in here and do one last alley-oop on a player if possible. But all these players are pretty tightly knit, man. I think maybe Fetaflex is the most vulnerable. Here we go. Red Dino is also coming in here for a big engagement. No, decides to back out for now. Alright, so he's sitting on 11 moles and a Fox and a Pigeon, dude. Let's see it, man. How is Sledge? Oh, yeah, the campfire. So the campfire is still going for now. But looking at the remaining players in this game, I feel like Red Dino and Fetaflex are the best spot. Like, Dingo's been doing a great job. Really dealing with the hand he was dealt, man, and reestablishing himself. But he doesn't really have any third base options at this point, where Red and Green do. And Sledge is going to try to come in here one last time, ended up selling off all those moles and try to get something down here. But Fetaflex is not going to just sit idly by and let Sledge take that expansion. So Red Dino's the first player to really get this third base established here. Fast forward a little bit, keep things moving. Yeah, poor Sledge, man. Just trying to find somewhere to do something, but so many balloons are out on the map now. Look at this, man. Like, I feel like Dingo is just slowly going to get strangled out of this. Yeah, Sledge realizes, okay, now I'm starving. I really just got to use these moles somewhere. Fox goes down to all the balloons. Here come the moles, but I don't think they're gonna get very much done. And that's gonna be all she wrote for Sledge, man. He's got a couple more seconds of life here. Then it looks like he's just gonna starve out, man. Go down with the ship. Here's Bellify. Blah. Stays into the last minute. So we're at the 12-minute mark in this game now, guys. And Dingo might not have a second base, but he's got a super scary army. You know, Red and Green have both invested a lot of money into balloons here. So keep that in mind for sure. And if you can kind of find a weak spot, you know, where you don't have to take on all these balloons directly, as I say that, there really isn't much. Like, this is a really good spread from Red Dino. Any way you try to force yourself in here, you're going to have to go through these layers of balloons. And Fetta's kind of got this one entrance going on here, so he can just mainly cluster his balloons together. And I'm just going to fast forward this at this point, guys. It's really kind of coming down to these players just kind of poking at each other, prodding at each other, trying to realize when I've got just enough to get in there and break my opponent's back. You know, because then when you move out in this situation, I know it's just kind of them sitting around for a minute or two, but you know, when you move out, you're basically going to win or lose the game. So all the players here are really trying to make sure they have exactly what they need before moving out. We're almost at the 15-minute mark here. 9 balloons down for Red Dino. And Dingo's now starving. This is what I was talking about, man. No third base, but here we go. Red Dino is going to bust into Fetaflex, and I wouldn't even mind seeing him just kind of pull back now, right? Because really all he had to do here was deny that third base, but, I mean, he wrecked over Fetta's army. Fetta didn't really have a solid late-game piece to this. And backs out, but he really doesn't need to. I think he's just trying to be wary of Dingo. You know, Dingo trying to take this Gristmill, probably more to win in a base race than anything else. He does have this one last farm he can take back that got sniped by the Fox earlier. That's kind of good for him to keep him from starving. But man, I don't know, man. 4 Badgers. That's a large number of Badgers to have. So I wouldn't count Dingo out of this game just yet. I think at this point, though, it's really going to come down to Red Dino or Dingo. But Dingo's got a clock on him, and Red Dino really doesn't. I mean, actually, you know, Red Dino's third base is pretty mined out at this point. We're 16 minutes in. So, you know, Dingo's really not in the worst spot anymore. I mean, Red Dino could bully Fetta out of this game, or at least back to his main, and then, you know, take this third. But let's see, what does Dingo have left? Okay, yeah, he's just got this farm. That's it. So once that runs out, he's going to start starving. And Red Dino is keeping the aggression on Fetta here, taking out that second base, putting Fetta on the clock as well. And here we go. Red Dino thinking about moving in, but hesitating a little bit. Really can't do that around these balloons, man. Losing several units for free. Just kind of got to bust in there. But it decides to back out for now. Maybe wait for a few more reinforcements before the last big push. 17 minutes in. This is crazy. And here we go, man. Looks like Dingo's gonna go for it. Catches Red Dino, not quite in the best position possible. One of the Badgers falling for Red Dino, but as well for Dingo. And looks like he's backing out for now, but the Wolf is actually buffing those Badgers for Red Dino, which is giving some absolutely insane DPS. Dingo backs out, but it looks like he tapped out of the game after he realized his army was no good anymore, and Red Dino takes the game. Really cool free-for-all. Okay. Woo, that was a good one. Those 11 moles sledge the lizard, says the gentleman. Yeah, I know, man. They really didn't get much done under those balloons. But hey, you can't blame the man for trying, right? Alright. Give me one second, guys, and we'll hop into the next match. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, game number 3 here. We got some bonk engine foot. Let's hop into it. Okay, spawning in the 6 o'clock, we've got Wereweed. And his opponent up top, the one and only Bonko. Alright, Bonk rocking the owls. I like to see it. We got some skunks here too, which, you know, gives Bonk that option to go for that pretty decent early to mid-game skunk push, you know, backed up by 12, 15 tier 1. That's fairly effective if your opponent tries to do anything that's super greedy or anything like that. So, I like it. I have been experimenting. I don't know. I'm a weird player. Like, I respect the meta. I like the meta, but I've always been trying to, like, figure out ways to debunk the meta. So lately I haven't been running skunks at all, and I've been trying to deal with that skunk push with some well-placed turrets, with some good target fire. It can work for sure. No moles this game. Squirrel pigeon's pretty standard, and you know, balloons kind of make sense. I feel like balloons, we're kind of in this meta right now, where badgers are pretty strong, and as well as foxes, you know, so balloons are kind of a good answer to either of those units, I suppose. So it's nice to have. And, you know, ferrets I love. Chameleons are still good, you know, doing their job, kind of target firing down tier 3, target firing down tier 2, maybe setting up various traps and attacks. But Bonk here actually going for a 6 farm double. I kind of failed to comment on. It looked like where we sniffed it out and went for a 6 or 7 farm 1 or 2, you know. You know what? I should have been paying closer attention because I'm so used to these early games not having a whole lot going on with the builds, but there actually was a little bit of intricacy here, so I apologize on not really noticing that quick enough. But Bonk comes in here. Wereweed, though, got a good scout down on what Bonk was doing in an appropriate amount of time. He's going to be able to throw that back, no problem. Lol, I remember when I felt like I had to take Owl or Wolf, says Premium Bow. Yeah, I remember that meta, man. That was super fun. Owls are, I mean, it's rough to say, man. You know, owls feel like they could use a little bit of love. I feel like is a general consensus. And Wolf is like a weird unit where, you know, Wolf really hasn't been changed a lot over the course of at least the live game that I can really point to specifically. But it's just kind of based on the power level of other units, you know. Like, oh man, right now Wolf buffing Falcons is insane and stuff like that. So let's see. I mean, so far nothing crazy out of either players. You know, Wereweed just building up some tier 1, taking an expansion. Bonk builds up a decent amount of tier 1, gets into that tier 2, but also expands. So it doesn't look like either player is really thinking about super early aggression here. Map looks pretty pretty balanced. You know, both players kind of have their ups and downs on the map gen. You know, where both players get 2 bases pretty close to their main. You know, Bonk gets this nice moat that's going to help defend. Wereweed gets the high ground plus the campfire. And then these other structures over here to the left are kind of like, well, whoever dominates the map so much that they're going to be able to control those gristmills is going to win the game, right? So, yeah, it looks like Wereweed's actually looking to get a little aggressive here, just with a lot of tier 1, but the skunk is out for Bonko, and oh man, oh no, don't do that. That little tiny alleyway. I was like, no! It actually didn't turn out as terribly as I thought it would. But you never want to fight through alleyways like that. I don't want to pick on Wereweed too much or anything, but you know, that actually didn't turn out terrible for Wereweed. Skunk's doing a good job there, but he's gonna have to back out, I feel like. I think Bonk is gonna be able to stabilize from here, so I mean, relatively even trade, right? Like, Bonko lost basically all his squirrels and his skunk, Wereweed lost most of his tier 1, but man, that is just such a rough, that's like one tile, you know, of an alley here that he's got to run through. And in RTS games, like, there's a really big concept of concave versus convex, you know, and it's all really about surface area, specifically in a game like Tooth and Tail, where your unit has to find its own tile before it can attack. So when your units kind of get stacked up, you know, when they're running around, they can't all actually instant fire like through this alleyway. They all have to like go to their own tile first to fire. So getting all scrunched up like that is a real disadvantage. But I feel like that fight went as well as it could have for Werewee. But look at this, maybe a little bit of a base trade situation here. Not intentional, though. Both players just kind of blindsiding their opponents here. Where did Bonk build this tier 2? Oh, wow, that ferret, or the snakes, rather, might actually get out. I don't know, man. I feel like Wereweed is going to win this, though. I mean, Bonk's still got to get through 2 bases here. Meanwhile, Wereweed's just got 1 more. Yeah, I feel like Wereweed's going to win this base race, man. That is a lot of squirrels, dude. And yeah, sure enough, Wereweed wins the game. Humble Bonk, submitting losses, man. Always love to see loss submissions. It's more of a, well, I don't know. It's a little bit of both. Like, it's mainly a surprise to me because, spoiler alert, guys, I bet you could never figure this out, but most people submit games where they win, right? So it's cool to see when guys submit games where they lose. It's mainly cool for me because you don't necessarily know who submitted the game from looking at this list, right? Unless you recognize like a constant submitter to the show, you know, in the title of the match there. But it's mainly a cool surprise to me because I'll get a submission from like the gentleman, and then it's like, oh wow, he actually lost. I was kind of thinking he was gonna win. So really cool, man. What's going on, everybody in the chat? I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Don't forget Pedro's Time Zone Showdown Tournament is going to be this weekend on Saturday, April 7th. It's going to be me and Strawberry casting it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I actually want to see, I'm looking at the Google Doc right now. There's a link to the Google Doc in the Tooth and Tail events section underneath the stream. Yeah, it doesn't actually say a time on it, so it's at 2 p.m., guys. And it shouldn't be that long of an event. We're not thinking. Oh yeah. Thanks for pointing that out, gentlemen. Pedro is going to be casting it in French as well, so it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to it, man. Definitely. If you're on the fence about signing up, man, sign up. Have fun. It's just for fun, you know. It's a friendly rivalry kind of thing. Or if you don't, man, just show up, have a good time. You know, gentlemen, do you know who the captains of the teams are? Have we decided that? Or I mean, so each team's gonna elect a captain. It's kind of up to them to determine who it is. Yeah. Listen to the gentleman, man. He knows what's up. They haven't decided on captains yet, so yeah, we're thinking it's gonna be 2 hours. I mean, you know, typically I can get through. If I don't talk a whole lot, I can get through 12 to 15 games in a two-hour session on this show. So doesn't seem like it'll be too many. And then afterwards, man, if everybody's interested and people are hanging out, dude, I'm just gonna keep the stream up and we'll hang out, we'll play some games, have a good time. So all right, don't forget, I think I need a couple more replays here. Yeah, okay, I've got them coming in. I got some coming in, so keep sending them in, guys. And especially if you haven't submitted, man, if you send me a replay right now and I don't recognize who you are, then 100% it'll get on the show. But let's hop into the next match, 2v2. Okay, spotting in the bottom and left, it looks like we've got Premium Boy and Valeris, and their opponents to the top and right, Obscution and Knight Solaire. Now, Obscution, I saw him in the chat earlier, but he does a lot. Is this? Hang on. This should be a 2v2, right? I don't know why this vision is so weird. Yeah, yellow and red. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just crazy. Okay, yep, I got that right. So yeah, Obscution, and a couple of his associates have made a mod called Tooth and Cake, where they have better graphs, and they've really done a lot to compile all the different skins. They work on things like different balance changes and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff, man. They have a Discord channel. Check it out, Tooth and Cake. There's a website as well. I actually need to get that on here, man, because who would benefit from better graphs than old Delthius here at ToothAndTailTV, right? So I'll commit to that, man. By next week, I'll definitely get that going. I'm slacking. I apologize, guys. I literally, you know, sometimes I don't have a whole lot of time, to be very honest. I'm pretty busy in my real life. Like I like ran home tonight and started the show last minute. But so far this game looked like Obscution was trying to get a little bit aggressive, which is pretty standard in a 2v2, but it doesn't look like anything super crazy has happened yet. So we're just kind of waiting. Looks like Premium Bow is trying to do a little bit of runaround attack. Fantastic mine there out of Knight Solaire. And great connection on Premium Bow. Drives him back for the time being. But Valeris has a great economy here. Obscution's not too far behind. So we're almost getting up to this 8 farm phase. And we'll have to see where these guys decide to go from here. Just a lot of tier 1 right now, kind of, you know, run around, poking and prodding, testing their opponents, and gristmills are all over the place on this map. It looks like Obscution has got this 12 o'clock that's basically a pocket base there for him. Knight Solaire, you know, this base is harder to take than it looks like it is. I mean, granted, I guess Premium Bow can't quite just run straight from this high ground over there. He's gonna have to go around. But that could still be fine. I mean, Premium Bow's got balloons, right, which are already in range of that base. So Valeris gets a nice expansion here. Premium Bow gets a nice expansion here. So really, it looks like Knight Solaire is the only one who's a little bit boned on a second base, and most of the rest of the gristmills on the map, which are basically just these two, right, like look like they belong to green and blue. So red and yellow really need to get aggressive here. And try to make something happen on a 1-2 base economy, because the longer this game goes, the worse it's going to get for him. But here we go. They're coming in for a big engagement. Obscution trying to get some good toe connections, does indeed. But Premium Bow decides to abandon Valeris here and try to run around for a counterattack. And I like this a lot. I almost would have liked, I mean, this damage is really good, don't get me wrong, but I almost wouldn't have minded Premium Bow's units kind of cutting off the reinforcements from both of the bases. But then again, Obscution is reinforcing in Toads. And it looks like Valeris is going to clean up the rest of that just fine. And Knight Solaire eventually stabilizes, but basically loses all his warrants in the process. So really, Obscution's kind of got to carry the team at this point and make something happen. So let's see it, man. Valeris moving out with a pretty big army. Obscution with some great toe connections there. But needs to be careful about these Falcons. He's trying to get that target fire down on the Falcon, but it can be a real pain in the ass. You know, the flying unit's got a ground unit underneath it on the tile, right? Can sometimes get kind of difficult to, you know, to actually target it correctly. But it looks like Obscution's got some momentum here. And Premium Bow is, you know, he got pretty crippled in that last fight too, right? Like green and yellow both took some significant losses there. But Premium's trying to get on the map and do what he can, but he's gonna get fairly countered by Knight Saber there. Does end up killing that farm, but loses practically his whole army for it. And this push is still here by Obscution, man. He is going hardcore on tier 1 and really trying to bully his opponents. And now Knight Solaire has a couple units that he can back his ally up with. Is this gonna be enough to break the back of Valeris? Looks like Valeris pushes him back for the time being, and that puts Valeris in a really good spot. You know, he's got the technology here. He's got tier 2. He's got the second base. 2 farms on it, a 3rd farm on the way. And Premium Bow kind of opting for a little bit of a weird expansion here. Almost maybe a bit of a poker play, you know? Like, I don't think there's any real reason to take this base here, as Obscution's kind of attack line has been in this general direction. You know, there's no reason that this base isn't any safer, but I think it might have been like, well, maybe they just won't expect it there or scout it, you know, as soon, so. But red and yellow aren't messing around, man. They're building a lot of tier 1. Obscution decides to drop the Toads as he's kind of running low on money. And Toads can be pretty explosive, but they aren't, I don't want to say they aren't cost efficient, because it depends on the connections you get, but you know, it's got to die for it to get any damage done, right? So compared to units that don't have to do that, you get more value, right? So Obscution cutting down on the Toads for the time being, trying to get a little more just high value, large number of squirrels in place. But Premium Bow, man, spinning with a little bit of income he has to throw up some turrets to defend the space, and now this is in a great spot. Look at this. It's It's threatening Obscution's campfire here. These lizards actually don't have the range to attack that turret. Falcons move in. Premium Bow sells it off for the time being, but they decide to come in, man. But Valeris is looking strong at this point. He's got a ton of tier 1. He's got a established up and running second base. He's got some tier 2 with him. So let's see it. The counter attack is coming in here, but Premium Bow isn't in position. Granted, he doesn't have anything. I actually think Premium Bow just tried to go harass Knight again with the lizards and lost him. But Valeris might just have too much here for Obscution to handle. Yeah, now he finds that sweet underbelly of a second base here. And nice plays out of Obscution there. Going ahead and canceling those building farms. Just like, oh, well, they're going to die anyways. Might as well get my money back, right? And Knight trying to help Obscution make a final stand, but they basically trade their entire armies, and Valeris has a handful of squirrels left over, really trying to keep this pressure going. And now Premium Bow is even helping out with some lizards, man. This has been a straight-up scrappy game, man. Knight doesn't have anything left. I wonder if I missed where maybe he sold some Warrens? I'm not so sure. But he did have a lot of money, so it makes me think he sold some Warrens. And yeah, now Obscution's starving. Like, that attack cost Valeris a lot. But he got the job done. He denied that second base. And, Premium Bow's going to deny the second base attempt out of Knight. Now that's what this is going to come down to. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, where we're into this, 2 to 3 base phase of the game at the 8-minute mark. And that's simply just not an option for our red and yellow players here. Knight's been fighting real hard to get that second base established. Obscution did a great job getting his second base established, but Valeris ended up running over that. On the back of kind of compounding value all throughout the game by, winning fights and getting more economy faster. And now Blue and Green look like they're in great shape. Their opponents both starving. Really no army to their names anymore. And I think that's going to be all she wrote, man. We're going to fast forward a little bit here in the end. Yeah, Obscution taps out. And Knight looks like he's going to stay in until the end and try to be annoying. But Green and Blue aren't going to let that happen and take the game. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Let me see. It's 8:48. Sorry guys, trying to think for a second. So where are we here? We just finished the 2v2. We're at Valeris versus the Gentleman. They're saying in chat they got better games here. Let's see. Okay, Gentleman sent a few more games. Bonk sent another game. And Valeris sent a few games as well. Maybe once... Okay, no, you know what? We're not gonna worry about that for now. Okay, so... Let me think what I want to do. I think we can keep going. What time is it? 8:50? Yeah, if these free-for-all and 2v2 games are long, I might just fast forward through a good bit of it, but... I think I can get to most of the replays that are in my inbox as well as what we've got here. I see Valeris in the chat lobbying to cast a game or two from a specific email. I know what you're talking about, man. I'll definitely get that on. Looks like Obscution's kind of talking about Premium Mode, trying to find the other game that Obscution's played recently. I'll be happy to get that on too, man. So let's keep this show going, man. Don't forget about the great events coming up, man. I don't want to hark on it too much, but, we got the tournament coming up Saturday at 2 p.m. EST, North America versus Europe. Best Sakura NA has put a lot of work into the Tooth and Tail League. Class A has subsided with Gentlemen winning it, and Class S is underway, so definitely check that out, guys. I can't say at this point, but I do know of other events that are going to be coming up in the near future that are getting organized at the moment. Not quite ready to go public with it yet, but there are more tournaments on the horizon as well, so always love to see you guys. So let's hop into match number 5 here. All right, spawning on the right, we've got Valeris. And on the left, his opponent, the Gentleman. Both these players will be representing their respective areas in the tournament on Saturday. Valeris, one of the North American players, and the Gentleman, one of the European players. So kind of cool to see these guys just, playing ladder, running into each other. Both very high-ranked players. Normally when I log onto the ladder, Valeris and Gentleman are both over 1,000 points fairly easily. So looks like Valeris trying a little bit of mole shenanigans here. Just trying to force Gentleman to pivot, to adapt his build. This is kind of one of those things like planting the 2 mines or a 5-farm double. If your opponent doesn't scout it or if they're not ready for it, it can get some damage done. But typically, if they answer it correctly, then come out on top, which is kind of the spirit of RTS. So this early game is gonna stabilize, and as you can see, Valeris is just gonna be slightly behind on his income and on his structures because he built this mole, but not by a whole lot. Valeris is a good player, and he went back and sold some stuff. Actually getting some damage done here. Gentleman did not want to sell that farm, but he did bait Valeris into losing the mole, I suppose. So maybe that has something to do with it. I know Gentleman's in the chat, so if you'd like to chime in on what your decision making there was to not sell the farm. I mean, I understand it was to kill the mole, right? It had to have been because you baited the mole to stay long enough to die. But Gentleman gonna try to take that economic edge here by snagging this campfire super early on, and that's a good bet to make, man. If you're a new player trying to figure the game out, like, don't be shy on taking campfires early on. A lot of times it's real difficult, especially in mid to high level play. Once you kind of figure out, like, it's all about, you don't have a whole lot of time to run around the map, man. It is important to do that. Like, I'd be disappointed if these players hadn't. Like, Gentleman has scouted this whole map, basically. Valeris has scouted most of the map, but again, it's hard, I mean, these are 2 top-level players, and as you can see, Valeris really hasn't got around to scouting most of this map yet. And that's on purpose. That's because these first few minutes, it's really critical to be on top of what your opponent's doing. Because you get the commander who scouts for free, right? Like, look at that. Valeris just identified Gentleman's going for a fast badger. You wouldn't have got that information if he was running around scouting the map, right? And the point I'm making with this big thing on scouting the map is taking a campfire oftentimes can go unpunished. But Gentleman actually canceled that campfire. Gentleman's really well known for his mind games, and Valeris probably has picked that up from Gentleman by now. And look at this, he knows what's up. He didn't quite go back far enough to actually catch Gentleman red-handed and confirm that tier 3 is sold, but Valeris is a good player. He understands what his opponent can have at this point in the game and realizes, man, okay, he's got all these moles, he must have sold that tier 3. And here we go, the Gentleman coming in for a big mole push here to see if he can end the game right here, right now. And it looks like Valeris is going to hold this just fine. And I almost feel bad for the Gentleman because, man, if he would have committed to that Badger strategy, he probably would have been A-okay. Unless Valeris really... Now, Valeris is running the Contain deck, so Valeris' move probably would have been to move forward. The Squills of Ferris take this gristmill here, start building some turrets and balloons, and really pressuring the Gentleman as he invested into that tier 3, right? We have a totally different game afoot. It's basically Squirrel Mole, but Valeris got out that tier 2. And those ferrets are doing some great damage over time, and oftentimes these high-level games really come down to that damage you can get done on the structures. Both players kind of trading armies evenly, but it's like, oh, hey, I killed 1 or 2 of your warrens. Like, that's actually a really, really big deal. It's going to slow down your reproduction of your army. Obviously, you have to pay money to rebuild those buildings. But Valeris is in a dominating position this game. Looking to come in here and just try to seal the deal against the Gentleman, and I think he's going to have enough, and that's going to be that. Gentleman in the chat says, I was 100% sure the mole would die, but I was wishfully thinking the farm could survive. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. You're banking on, all right, if I keep the farm here and it just barely lives and the mole dies, yeah, that would have been huge, for sure. But overall, I don't think it was super impactful, right? Like, you lost the farm, he lost the mole, and it's like, okay, we kind of move forward from here. Okay, guys. I do think I have enough content now for the show. But I still encourage, man, if you've never submitted, if you've only submitted like once or twice, man, submit. I will definitely get you on. I really try to encourage the show to, you know, all levels of play, man. Don't feel shy if you're maybe a beginner or mid-level player. I really try my best not to pick on you. I'll be more critical, like if it's Valeris versus the Gentleman, I'm going to be as critical as I possibly can, right? Just because I want to help people learn. Because I know them and I know that they're high-level players. So anyways, guys, game number 6 here. We're going to hop into another fun free-for-all game. Obscution, yeah, Obscution's totally an OG, man. I appreciate you still hanging out, man. It's good to see you. Alright, just making sure, because sometimes I get... sometimes these 2v2s are crazy. I've seen weird spawns. But anyways, guys, in the bottom, in the red and blue, we got the Red Dinosaur and Bonk. Their opponents. A little bit spread out here, but with some decent expansion options. We've got... oh, geez. Dingo Dancing and Octomologist. Octomologist. Is that like the study of octopi, I suppose, or something like that? I don't know, guys. But yeah, expansions here are actually not looking terrible. Not looking terrible for either side. I mean, if the game goes on super, super long, then red and blue are obviously going to be in favor. It looks like if you split the map kind of like this, you know, then red and blue get 3 bases, and up here red and green just get 2. But wait. Didn't I say this game was a free-for-all? Yeah, this game's a free-for-all. What am I talking about, guys? I am so bad. I'm so bad at casting. So yeah, I mean, but look at it, right? Like at first glance, this looks almost 2v2-ish. Like, poor Bonk and Red Dino here. Like, I'm glad I caught it a minute into the game. I've definitely gone a lot longer in multiplayer games with with confusing the game types. But this is a free-for-all, man, so this is kind of the big point of contention here. Like, Red Dino or Bonk is not long for this world. What is Bonk doing? Bonk is actually, yeah, he's kind of conceding the fact. He doesn't even want to play this game, dude. He's like, you know what? I'm sorry, Red Dino is the one conceding the fact that doesn't want to play the game. Red Dino moves to the other side of the map, just wants to get a strong, healthy economy. And, you know, Bonk's really putting the pressure on Red, but Bonk didn't finish him off, man. Which is kind of a big deal. You know, Red Dino kind of gave him this base, and Bonk didn't finish it. So now Red Dino is still mining. This base is getting less and less attractive as an expansion for Bonk. You know, yeah, now he's going to come in here and finish this off. And let's see what green and yellow are up to. Nothing super crazy at this point. Octo just getting out some Chameleon. Dingo, you know, getting out of second base, getting out some Falcons. But yeah, this base is going to go down here. Bonk now has a nice piece of territory. You know, this is 3 bases. I would take these farms, man. I would go for that. 3 bases, a campfire. With the countdown every game to sync the counters. Yeah, I still do that if I have a co-caster. That's the way to do it, man. For sure. So both players, like, join at the same time. You always make me nostalgic, Obscution, when I see you in the chat. I just get emotional. I'm just like, oh, I miss Icebox. but anyways, guys, nothing super crazy yet. Red Dino kind of, you know, changed his location, got over to the right side, but now he doesn't really have a good second base opportunity. Bonk just kind of getting out this bread and butter composition here. Dingo looks like he's in the best spot to me. I always feel like in free-for-alls, you know, whoever's being the most greedy, whoever can gobble up the most of the map is going to win eventually. But we haven't seen any big commitments to knock players out of the game just yet by anybody. Everybody's just kind of chilling. I mean, obviously we saw that Bonk and Red Dino scruffle at the beginning of the match, but that's kind of to be expected. I mean, they literally spawned right next to each other. So much to the point where I thought they were on the same damn team. So other than that, nothing crazy. Wolf goes down here for Dingo. And Red Dino doesn't have a lot at this point, but that's to be expected. I mean, yeah, like, you know, he had to get up and move elsewhere super early on. And Octo looks like he wants to get something done on the map, but kind of runs into Bonk with a lot of tier 2. Backs up for now. Again, this is kind of weird, right? Like, you don't want to be the player fighting in a free-for-all. You want to be the player chilling, sitting back, and letting everybody else fight, right? That's the way you can get the most ahead. Oh, Upsuchin's talking about Age of Empires 2. Dude, I got super sucked into the HD edition maybe like a year ago. I actually, lately, I've been thinking about playing that again. You know what I did when I was like feeling in the mood for a random RTS? I was playing Warcraft 3, like against computers and stuff, but that was a lot of fun. I might play some AoE too. There's so many good RTS games out, man. Tooth and Tail, obviously. I mean, I play so many RTS games. I play Tooth and Tail, I play Brood War, I play StarCraft 2, I play They Are Billions, Warcraft 3, Age of Empires 2. I haven't played it in a little while, but I might go back to it. Lots of fun stuff, man. RTS is indeed a good genre, but so far, yeah, I might actually fast forward here a little bit. Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to get into a little bit of a scruffle. Octo trying to move out on the map and secure more and more bases is going to be difficult for him. Bonk's not going to let him do it for free, but a nice fight there for Octo. Nice skirmish. I feel like he got ahead and he kept his base alive, but it is super, super low. Bonk's just going to try to finish it off with a little bit of poison. Might get away with it, might not. Let's see. Both players just backing out for now. And here we go, man. Octo is trying to push in here. Deal more and more damage. The base for Bonk is for sure going to go down. And look at Red Dino. You know, he's getting out of Badger. He's banking up some money. And Dingo. Dingo is getting super scary. Wolf number 1 is out. Wolf number 2 is on the way. I feel like he really needs a lot of Falcons as a target of those wolf buffs, right? So, here we go, man. Octo trying to push in on Dingo, but Dingo hasn't really been in a big engagement yet. He's been on a healthy economy, so he's got a nice army at this point. And Yellow just kind of gets decimated there a little bit and has to back out for the time being. And where's that Badger? Is the Badger out? No, Badger's not out yet. But Bonk does have an Owl and starting to pick and prod at Octo. Now Octo is starving. He might not be long for this world. Yeah, trying to get something done on this base, but this base is basically dead. Bonk's just got to move his Owl over there, essentially, to go take that out. So, looks like he's going to do just that now. And look at this, man. Dingo's on base number 3. I feel like Dingo is way ahead this game. Octo gets hit again and has a little bit of an army fighting those Owls, but now Red Dino is ready to rise from the grave here with this Badger, Pigeon, Skunk, Squirrel army and try to wreak some havoc on some nerds. Octo taps out, though, running face first into that army. And now let's see how much of a rampage Red Dino can get done on this map. Hanging out for now. But again, Bonk is in this pretty healthy economy position too. Well, I guess not, since he lost the second base, you know, to Octo's push. But yeah, Dingo, man. I mean, Dingo doesn't have Badger, right? Red Dino's got the Badger. It's pretty good. But now Red Dino's got this base, and that's exactly what he needed. So I don't know. I hate to count out the Bonker here, but it's not looking so good for Bonk. I think it's going to come down to Red Dino or Dingo. But if Dingo, you know, buffs his Falcons correctly with a little bit of Wolf Micro, gets in there and targets down those Badgers immediately, he should be able to absolutely run over Red Dino's army. So let's see. We're stabilizing a little bit fast forward. We're at the 8-minute 30-second mark here. Just kind of waiting for one of these guys to do a big push in. I like this out of Bonk, trying to harass with the Owls and the Snake. But Dingo's even got these balloons here, which are very, very painful when supported by a full army. Love this play out of Bonk, man. Just getting a ton of value out of that Owl. Look at this army out of Dingo there, man. He's been basically left alone all game long. I don't know, here we go. Red Dino's got the Wolf Badger, though. I mean, basically it's Wolf Falcon versus Wolf Badger. A lot of those squirrels are actually getting buffed up, too, not the Falcons. And poor Buck getting attacked from both sides at once. These guys are gonna wreck through Bonk's base and kind of meet in the middle. Bonk taps out. Knowing that that's it, let's see who wins this fight here. Look at that army value from Dingo Dancing. He's got a lot of that wrapped up in balloons though. So keep that in mind as well. All right, man. Dingo's going in for the big engagement. That Badger gets freaking deleted. That's what I was talking about, man. If you can just target fire down that Badger, the rest of Red Dinosaur's army crumbles. And Dingo Dancing takes the match. Okay, that was a free-for-all. All right, what we're going to do here, guys. How are we doing on time? 9:06. What we're going to do here, guys, is we'll do these next couple games, maybe take a little break, and then I'll try to get in a few more replays after that as well. So let's hop into match number 7 here. We got a 2v2. All right. Spawning in the bottom. This is a 2v2 this time, I think. Is Mistclicker and Banana Cannons. Oh, it looks like they're just fighting some computers up top. I wonder what difficulty these computers are on. I think they're on a higher difficulty because of the amount of farms they start with. I think that's how it works. So maybe this is a couple insane computers. Old Banana Cannons here, man. Let's see, these computers have these cannons. Pretty neat to see. But Banana Cannon's kind of got a pretty straightforward deck, you know. He's got the Ferret, he's got the Badger, Squirrel Pigeon, not bad, not bad. And Mistclicker's got like the bread and butter standard deck, man. If you're looking for a deck to steal, man, copy Licker's build here, because that's just a really straightforward standard meta play. You know, Squirrel Pigeon Skunk is pretty good in the early to mid game. Badger's fantastic, and Falcons help round things out in the late game. While the turrets give you the flexibility to kind of defend on a pinch or possibly get aggressive, a little bit of contain. But these computers aren't messing around, man. Computers on higher difficulty get faster farms. Like they start with more farms than they're supposed to, right? So they're typically very aggressive, trying to move out here, but Mistclicker and Banana Cannons actually handle it just fine. And gonna pull them back. Want to play 2v2 as CPU 0, CPU 1. Dude, I thought about that. I was like, man, that would be such a troll thing to do. It'd be pretty hilarious. Man, where's the mole? Yellow building the mole here. Yeah, that high level mole play, man, coming out of the computer. Let's see. But yeah, the computer kind of have a bad tendency of just kind of lemmings their army in, you know, kind of one at a time. So Banana Cannon and Mistclicker might be okay here for the time being. Now, Yellow is actually expanding pretty quickly, so they need to be careful. We're gonna fast forward just a little bit here as the game progresses, and it's just like a non-stop onslaught from these computers, and they're actually gaining a little bit of steam here, but that turret placement, the reinforcements from Banana Cannon seem to be enough to push them back for now. Dude, these computers are just non-stop, man. Like, I'm surprised they're not attacking for the moment. Yeah, here they go. Now, he's actually got a fair amount of units here, but he's not attacking with his computer buddy. Let's see. Let's see if Yellow gets the memo to move out. He's building a mole. You know, typically a mole means I'm moving out, right? So let's see it. Archimedes chilling for the time being, building up some more farms, and Red's gonna run in here into just a bloodbath of blue and green's defenses, and now blue feels comfortable enough to take that expansion. And yeah, to see Yellow, see, this is a good piece of advice of what you don't want to do in a 2v2. Like, the computers just kind of keep throwing their units in, you know, as lemmings, kind of one by one, or, you know, not together, you know, CPU 0 and CPU 1. And it's really not even like a 2v2 fight if you do that. I see players do that all the time too. That's why I'm bringing it up. But it's like 2 1v2s, you know, and that's very, very unfavorable on the 1v2 side of it, obviously. So let's see. Like, the computers aren't doing a terrible job expanding. We're about 4:30 into the game right now, and CPU 1 has a full mining second base, and neither of our blue and green players have it. So CPU 1 getting that Fox out, but I'm not so sure if the computer's Fox micro is going to be super good. We'll have to see. But he's got a super strong economy, and Miss Clicker doesn't have a second base yet. It looks like he's trying to set up to try to take some of this area and grab it. What level are these computers? I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm assuming probably highest level of difficulty because the amount of pigs that they started with. I think that's a big differentiation between the CPU difficulty, because they can ramp up so much faster. I mean, Yellow's actually got a pretty sizable force, but kind of running in, like I said, without his teammates. And Mistwicker's got the Badger out now. Banana Cannon's got a fantastic second base, saturating up fairly quickly. And they've got plenty to deal with this now, as we're almost 5 minutes 30 in. And all right, here's a big attack, man, coming up. Oh, is that Fox not even gonna get out? Oh, the Fox gets out, but I'm not so sure if it's long for this world. Target firing going down on it now, dies immediately. Now, yellow and red are actually holding this off fairly well, but Miss Hooker's got the Badger. No, Miss Hooker! Ah, the Badger dies. And now they're not in such a good spot, to be honest. Like, now I'm a little bit worried for them. The computers might be ahead at this point. Like, that was a lot of units that blue and green just lost here. And the economy of the computers are through the roof. Miss Hooker now getting the second base really up and running. But I'm worried about these counterattacks. We're almost at the 6-minute 30 mark here. And again, though, it's really the computer's not kind of attacking together. Like, those units moved in too, but that's really going to help blue and green get back into the game, for sure. hey, Fox is a good Fox because it dies, so banana cannons. Most people would not argue with that statement. Oh, a little flank attack here from this Clicker trying to get in to this where Hopper's really mining over there. The banana cannon just kind of manning the front. Is this working? Yeah, it looks like Miss Clicker actually penetrated over here into the second base and is going to get a lot of damage done to it. And banana cannon is going to engage with Hopper in the front. Going to deal with that. And ooh, does he actually get this expansion? There's a lot of units here for Miss Clicker, but Archimedes here showing up to try to force him back, and looks like it's going to be enough, but he did some pretty damn crippling damage to the Hopper AI there. That might just be enough. And meanwhile, Banana Cannon is advancing on the front line. Starting to get some real critical damage done to his opponents. And I don't know, man. Oh, actually, that's a lot of squirrels from yellow. Gotta be careful here. Actually, it looks like the forces of the Banana Cannon are going to go down, but Bisclicker coming in over to the side. His force is getting a bit slowed down by that gristmill. Yeah, it just tells him, hey, man, ignore that. Get over here ASAP. Oh, no, and Hopper just doesn't have enough money left to even build another farm, so I think that's going to be in of Hopper here. Bisclicker's army actually gets cleaned up. And we're going to reset for the time being, I suppose. Yeah, now Red's out of the game, just kind of starved to death. So I feel like blue and green should probably have it from here in a 1v2 situation. Let's see it, though. Yellow trying to move in again. But that Badger's out for Banana Cannon. Now Banana Cannon is wielding the power of the Badger. It's going to come in here and decimate this army. I don't think computers could actually tap out, but the computer probably would tap out there if he could. And gets run over there. That was a fun game. Yeah, look at that income from the Archimedes computer, man. I was super worried about that in the early game, but... Okay, hang on. We're gonna do a few things. I'm gonna take a little break. And these are supposed to be some pretty good games we'll get into. Oh, wait. Okay. And we got that one. Alright, alright. So we'll do those. And we'll see how we're doing on time. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm going to take like a 5-minute break, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a little bit. And we'll go through a few more replays. So, see you then. Okay, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just need to take a little break. No big deal. Boom. All right. So, these two games were submitted by Valeris. Said really, really good. Valeris vs. Gentlemen. Oh, I probably should have renamed them. Damn it. All right, we'll just go into this one. Anyways. Yeah, normally when I get last minute submissions, I don't rename them. But in the right, we've got the Gentleman. And his opponent to the left, Valeris. Yeah, the names. Scoochen, your submission, I think, was just called Last Replay. So we're going to go to that one next. Looks like Gentleman trying to get a little fancy here with some mole play. Great spot to put it. Valeris is none the wiser, and he's actually getting out of position for this now. If he counts Gentleman's farms, he might know something's up, but it's a little too late. This mole's already here. Gentleman's coming back to start controlling it. Oh, no! Actually messes up the control a little bit. Doesn't get anything done for that mole. And that's going to put Valeris in a fantastic position. His economy is going to get ahead of the Gentleman. Gentleman's building another mole. Yeah, actually built it on the way out. But Valeris knows it's coming, building his own mole in response. And, oh! No, actually gets the sell there. Gentleman looked like sold the mole at half HP. But again, another pretty significant loss there for the Gentleman. Gonna put Valeris ahead in this early game. And now Valeris maybe thinking about getting a little bit aggressive with moles himself. Sees the Warrens on the way. And that's gonna be enough to make Valeris decide to back out for now. Take it back home, build some Warrens of his own, sell that mole off, and continue the game. So yeah, Valeris must be feeling good right now. And yeah, decides, he's got so much extra money from those early engagements that he can go ahead and go straight into a ferret Warren. So, see how much value he's able to get out of those ferrets over time here. Trying to put down a couple mines, but Gentleman sees them. I'm interested to see what Gentleman's next play is going to be. Like, he's behind. Yeah, he decides to expand, which is a good risk to take. Valeris actually did see that expansion. I'm not so sure if Gentleman's going to keep it or if he's kind of feigning that expansion. We'll have to see. No, it looks like Gentleman just kind of wants to take this into the mid game. He's had this campfire going for a good little bit. And, yeah, he's had that campfire going for about a full minute at this point. So, well, not quite, because I guess it had to build, right? So that's going to help him get back into this game. Trying to take a faster second base as well. But Valeris is trying to move in right now and deny this. And Gentleman doesn't have his ferrets yet. Valeris has just as many ferrets as the Gentleman, plus a mole, plus just as many squirrels, plus the ferret, right? So he's in a good spot on this aggression. And gonna do fairly well against the Gentleman there, force him to back out. And looks like the Valeris is gonna take this gristmill just fine. Maybe even keep this pressure going. To see if he really can't get some devastation done to the Gentleman. Yeah, taking out this tier 2 Warren, man, which he does. I mean, that's huge. And the Gentleman needs to really babysit this ferret that he has. I'm wondering what he's gonna do next here. I mean, he's got the Fox Warren, but yeah, I mean, Valeris has been super aggressive. He's definitely not gonna have time to get that tier 3 out. And he's really just kind of playing from the back foot. And yeah, he decides to go for some Falcons. I'm not so sure if Valeris actually saw those two tier 2 Warrens. He saw that the Gentleman's trying to get more tier 2 at the very least, but I think regardless, Valeris is going to apply some more pressure here as he moves forward to really start getting this critical damage done. Like, losing these Warrens is a really big deal. Even if the Gentleman holds his push off, 2 Warrens go down. More and more are coming under fire here. And loses that tier 2 Warren as well. Falcon's out though, and Valeris is actually running out of squirrels, so he's gonna be pushed back for now, but again, he just did really devastating damage to the Gentleman. So he should be feeling like he's in pretty good shape at this point. Yeah, Valeris now feeling comfortable enough to take a second base. We'll fast forward it just a bit. We are now at the 5-minute mark of the game. Valeris is pushing out again, trying to deny this expansion attempt from the Gentleman. The Gentleman's got good micro here. Like if he can get the these squirrel lines taken care of, those Falcons are going to be able to get up on those Ferrets, no problem. Very good engagement there for the Gentleman. I feel like, you know, damn, he even keeps this one Falcon barely alive. Yeah, that was pretty good for the Gentleman. I mean, his expansion got denied, obviously, which is rough, but he's kept this tier 2 alive, and he's trading fairly well with these squirrels, and even manages, just barely manages to get that ferret from Valeris. So, Gentleman really turning water into wine here and staying into this game as best he can. But the second base that Valeris has is a pretty big deal. Like, keep in mind, Gentleman has had this campfire the entire time, so just now, you know, once this next pig gets done, will Valeris really have an economic lead, and even then it's not going to be very much of one. And Gentleman's got the fox on the way, though, and I'm curious if Valeris actually scouted that. Yes, indeed he did. But you can never trust the Gentleman, man. Even if you see something like a tier 3 Warren, like, he might sell it off and build a bunch of molds. Like, you never really know with this guy. He doesn't have the economy to afford this fox, but he manages to somehow. The fox is out. And let's see it, man. Now Valeris is in a rough spot. I mean, Fox is going to deal with the squirrels and ferrets fairly well. Now Valeris does have these mines. If those go off on the fox, that could be huge. But they don't. The one squirrel triggers a mine prematurely there, at least from Valeris' perspective. And yeah, Gentleman's losing most of his army here. But he's keeping this fox alive. And this might be too much here for Valeris. Now Valeris is starving. He really just does not have an answer to this fox, which seems appropriate. I mean, the Gentleman somehow managed to sneak this fox out in this very scrappy, low-income game, and he's reaping the rewards for it. I mean, the fox kind of shines best at these low army counts, right? Like, you know, fox dealing with just like 3 or 4 squirrels and a ferret, like, get out of here, man. The fox is gonna dominate that. It's really a lot of tier 1, you know, or certain specific units, defensive structures that do really well against the fox. So coming in here against some fantastic damage on the Gentleman. Valeris trying to hang on the best he can, but only a few more seconds left, and taps out. The Gentleman takes the win. Okay. All right. Yeah, I had no idea how he managed that fox at Valeris. Dude, I have no idea how he managed that fox. Are you kidding me? Gentleman, some kind of miracle work. I really think it probably was that the campfire, right? Like, that campfire just kind of gave him enough money to afford the fox and kind of stay on par with you with everything else, I suppose. But let's hop into this match here. I believe it contains Obscution. Okay. So spawning on the left, we've got Obscution and Premium Bow, and their opponents to the right, Valeris and Knights to the Lair. Let me make sure that's correct. Yeah, okay. You never know with these things, man. All right, Premium Bow with the premium strats. Where's the mole? There it is, right in Valeris' face. And Valeris doesn't have moles here, and he didn't throw a turret down, and he was a little late on selling that farm, but oh, Premium Bow gets the mole out, so nice little victory there, getting up about 20 food on that engagement. Nothing super serious, but I think Valeris didn't sell that farm in hopes of trying to bait Premium Bow from overextending with that mole and you know, taking it out, getting a big lead. So, you know, we see some pretty quick warrens here. It's to be expected in 2v2. 2v2, you know, you can't be as greedy as you can be in 1v1, and the pressure is just kind of been continued to be put on here from Premium Bow. Nice responses, though, from Knights of Lair and Valeris. And overall, this early game, kind of no harm, no foul. It's going to even out a little bit. Valeris actually getting fairly up on the economy here because he hasn't thrown down a tier 1 Warren yet. You know, just kind of holding on with Knight Solare's Lizards plus his turret. You know, trying to get up to that 8 farm economy as fast as he possibly can. Which is not a bad strategy, man. Again, like any time in any RTS game, any game mode, it just really comes down to safe amounts of greed. You know, whoever can manage to get more resources than the opponent, but at the same time not quite leave themselves so vulnerable as to just simply just get run over. And that's kind of what you see Knight Solare going for here, man. He went for a really quick second base, trying to get that economy going as fast as he possibly can. Now, granted, he hasn't taken these farms on the first base yet, which isn't generally best practice, but I'm not going to give him a super hard time for it. But Obscution, man, trying to move out. I don't think he knows about this mine here. That could be pretty devastating, yet it actually doesn't get a ton of damage done. Just kills one squirrel. Normally it'll like kill the squirrel and kind of damage the ones around it. But the lizards seem to be enough to at least slow Obscution down, kind of fend him off for now. But Obscution's coming in, man. And let's see. And meanwhile, Valeris is kind of getting into a little bit of a scruffle up top with Premium Bow, or at least trying to zone Premium Bow's commanders out as such, so he can't get in there and continue that harassment. But Obscution's not messing around, man. He's got a lot of squirrels here. He's building a proxy base, so maybe start developing a contain. Maybe build some proxy warrens, throw down a turret or two, get that healing going, and he's just got enough to overrun Knight. Knight's been very greedy here. This makes perfect sense on paper, as in practice, right? Obscution just went for a lot of tier 1 early on. Meanwhile, Knight kind of skimped on the tier 1 a little bit to try to get up a healthier economy. Obscution identified that and counterattacked and did a great job. And now Premium Bow's here to back it up as well. But this is going to leave him a little bit open. Valeris is moving out and starting this ferret harassment, and maybe that's why Premium Bow's kind of joining the fray with Obscution over here. He knows his units would be better used, to help push this momentum forward, as I guess he just doesn't think he can take Valeris' army head on. And that ferret goes down for Premium Bow. That's a big deal, man. Premium Bow's commander's not over here. Oh, man, if Valeris just decides to kind of change course, start defending his ally, but it might be a little too late. I mean, Obscution's really trying to establish this position. He's already got a turret up. Nice sell on that farm. But Valeris isn't going to be able to break this, and Premium Bow comes up from the back. I apologize for not getting that on the camera, but takes out those 2 ferrets from Valeris. That's a pretty big deal, man. And now Premium Bow is in a decent position. Actually, losing that ferret, though, is not so good for him. So it's been pretty back and forth, to be pretty honest. But Obscution, man, on the back of all this, has got half saturation coming up on a second base. He's got a third base, not necessarily for mining, but for territory. And he's just making it a real pain for blue and yellow to even get out of their front doors anymore. Blue and yellow eventually cleaned that base up. But red and green have put a nice little foothold here with a couple gristmills. And Obscution was kind of debating whether or not he wanted to cancel those farms. Keeps most of them for now. But Valeris is keeping the pressure on up top, which at the moment is kind of going unanswered. And he might deal some pretty critical damage to Premium Bow here. Premium Bow's over on the side, really trying to fortify this bottom position and put yellow in a really difficult situation. So, I mean, it's really just carnage all around here. All right, Valeris trying to come down and make sure that his partner doesn't just get straight up knocked out of this game. But it might be too late. I mean, granted, Premium Bow is basically in the same boat that Knight Solare is in, right? Like, he really doesn't have a whole lot to his name, and he's actually starving right now. He's gonna have to sell off these warrens to be able to even build a farm at this bottom base, assuming he holds this off. Valeris just doesn't break Obscution here, but Obscution's on the best economy in the game right now. So he's really in a position where he can carry this to victory, especially if Premium Bow somehow manages to keep these ferrets alive, somehow doesn't starve out. I don't think he's got time, even if he tries. Yeah, 4-3. Actually, you know what? He just might barely. 1. Oh, man. Dude, that was so close. That was like less than a second, man. I think he started burrowing at like 4 seconds till starvation. If he started doing it at like 5 seconds, he would have been fine. Oh my god. That was crazy. Now, Scution's got a good economy and a good army here, but now he's in a 1v2 situation. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't even say that really, because Knight Solaire is not in a good spot himself. He's got enough money though. Yeah, he's gonna stay in the game, but it's gonna be quite some time until he can really contribute to his team anymore in this engagement. And Valeris, I don't know if this turret goes down. Yeah, I guess target fire. Valeris really doesn't have much left, so Scution might just barely have enough here to carry his team to victory. Really needs to try hard not to lose these Falcons. One's about to die to the pig, but he's got one left, man. He's got a lot of squirrels that are rallying over, dealing damage to Warrens. Really got to keep this Falcon alive. It does eventually go down, and that's going to be Scution's cue to kind of, get back a little bit, reproduce a bit, get a few more squirrels up here. Really needs to kill that ferret, man. This game has really devolved to very small amounts of units and really micro-intensive situation, but I think Scution's got enough here. Yeah, now Valeris is far. Yeah, Valeris has got nothing left, man. He's gonna try to run around, maybe set up shop somewhere else, but Scution's on top of Valeris' commander. Not gonna let that happen. Yeah, now Scution's stabilized, man. Like, he's the only one left with an army. Valeris taps out, and soon behind him his opponent, and Scution and Premium Vote take the match. Okay. We're gonna hop into, I'm gonna grab another drink real quick, 1 second. Alright. This is like my go-to beer, man. Yingling. Yingling is America's oldest brewery, Pennsylvania beer. That's only on the East Coast of the United States, and it's like a solid, like, I don't know, it's like the same price as like Bud Light, it's not expensive, but it's a good lager. I always get disappointed when I travel though, man. I travel pretty often for work, as longtime viewers of the show know, as every now and then I have to miss shows because of it. You just can't get that Yingling anywhere else but the East Coast, man. Yeah, Europeans being the oldest something in America makes it what, like 250 years old? Yeah, I know. But it's still a damn good beer. Anyways, guys, let's hop into this other game between Valeris and Gentleman. That was supposed to be very, very good. Okay, spawning in the bottom, we've got the Gentleman. And spawning in the top left, his opponent, Valeris. Valeris changing things up a little bit this game, opting to go for Toads and Owls, which are considered like super high tier units at the moment. But I'm really interested to see what Valeris makes of them here. Valeris is one of those top level players, so seeing the Toads in there kind of strikes me as a bit of aggression with their critical strikes to buildings. But here we go, Valeris is trying a little bit of mole aggression. It's basically a check. Like the Gentleman, most of the time you got to respond with your own mole or perhaps turrets. Sells that building farm. Ooh, actually might get some damage onto this Warren, but it looks like the pick fire is going to be enough to push Valeris back, and Gentleman's going to be just fine. So, pretty even early game. I feel like the Gentleman, again, I feel like you're ahead if you're the defender there and nothing happens, right? So the Gentleman's got a little bit of a lead, as Valeris has had the 60 food tied up in that mole for so long, and plus being on the aggression there, he couldn't quite hit his farms exactly, as quote-unquote optimal as possible, right? Like his money floated up to about 130 for a little bit during that mole engagement. So that puts Gentleman at a little bit of an advantage. Income graph kind of represents that, but not the biggest deal in the world, man. But, this campfire, however, could become a pretty big deal, and that's actually a really greedy campfire. I mean, I feel like You don't want to take a campfire until you have 2 tier 1 warrens established if you want to be safe. So Gentleman just got 1 tier 1 warren, tried to take the campfire. Valerius sniffed that out and said, hey man, that's a pretty damn greedy campfire. Comes in here with a couple moles and sees if he can get anything done about it. Nice target firing on the building mole of his opponent, and he's just gonna barely have enough. Just a mole and a couple squirrels is all he needs to kind of take the tempo here and put Gentleman in an even more awkward situation as he's reinforcing with the moles. Absolutely gonna get this campfire, but Valerius has built so many moles at this point, it makes me think that he wants to get even more aggressive. So poor Gentleman in the chat, man. Oh, these games against Valerius and Instant Idiot, yeah. You know, I will, okay, in all fairness, because we're gonna have more time, I did get a couple more replays from you, the Gentleman, so we'll hop into one of those after this one. But let's see. I mean, I feel like Valerius got some decent damage done there. He kept these moles, actually, which is a really strong sign of aggression. He wants to seal the deal here and in this game. And Gentleman just kind of stabilized where he was. You know, he wants to get a strong squirrel count out. He wants to try to retake this campfire. Actually cancels it in lieu of building some more moles, sensing that Valerius is going to come in pretty hard again. But I think Valerius just kind of barely got here in time. I mean, it did a lot of damage to those building moles of the Gentleman, but the Gentleman actually pushes this back for now. And that one mole living at just barely any HP is actually a pretty big deal for the Gentleman here. If he can keep that alive, let it heal up and sell it, I mean, that's a ton of value. So yeah, I mean, actually that engagement might have tied this game up fairly evenly. Yeah, chat's cracking me up. I apologize, guys. I'm really bad at multitasking. As much of an RTS nerd as I've been for the last 20 years. Like, there's really no such thing as multitasking. It's just, like, prioritizing. I don't know. That's a whole different rant. But anyways, Valerius coming in here, getting one good toad engagement. The other 2 toads died before they got up to the front lines. And the Gentleman's going to be able to hold this back. And now that's going to put Gentleman in an even better spot. Like, he's got the campfire. He killed a couple moles there, I believe. You know, he traded pretty favorably with that army. And I'm not so sure. He had a building balloon at the beginning of that fight. I'd imagine Gentleman would have sold it, and it wouldn't have died. But that balloon certainly did die. But Gentleman still got the superior number of squirrels here. Like, that campfire is really helping out his economy. You know, 8 to 9 is a pretty big percentage increase, right? Oh my god. Dude, the pickpocket, man. Dude, I can't focus on the chat, man. I want to. It's hilarious, but I gotta keep going. All right, Gentleman. He's got a fox warren coming down, which is pretty bold for 4-farm economy here. I guess 5-farm if you really want to get technical, but Valerius has a nice pocket base, and now getting to it. We are at almost a 5-minute 30-second mark of this game, so it's kind of got to the point where it's like, all right, man, we really can't just be on one base anymore. And I do want to kind of note the map. I haven't really talked a lot about the map this game. If you guys haven't realized, I mainly talk about the map, and there's not a whole lot going on within the match. This has been pretty action-packed since the first minute, so it's a really short map for one. And pretty relatively even on expansions. I almost favor Valerius's position. I'm not so sure. Both positions have merit. Maybe Gentleman's is better. I don't know. Fairly even map, to be perfectly honest. But the big point here is that it's a very, very short map, which means really small reinforcing distances, which often leads to more and more aggression. But Valerius, man, moving in with a big, strong push. And this might just be too much for the Gentleman at this point. He sold a lot of his things off. He's gonna go for that mole trade, as you often see. Actually decides to change his mind and just tap out. Hey, we got Massive Self in the chat, man. What's going on, man? Always good to see ya. Okay, how we doing on time? 9:45. 9:45. What do we got in the inbox here? Okay. Okay. Alright, this is the game I want to see. Alright, alright. Man, if you've never submitted, man, I encourage you to submit now. I'll definitely get you on. I do have plenty for the night, but it's always cool to see new guys. So, this game here, the gentleman, I guess, got some sort of bug and ended up with a random deck. So, let's see how he deals with this situation. So, spawning on the left, we've got Super Maru. Maru, obviously a famous Korean Terran player in StarCraft 2. And in the bottom right, the gentleman. Yeah, so the gentleman ended up with a random deck here. So no tier 1. That's the big flaw, but everything else about it's not so bad. Like, skunks, falcons, fox, turrets, balloon are all really meta, you know, high tier units. Snakes aren't even bad either. But Super Maru's got a decent split here, right? Like, he's got 2 tier 1, 2 tier 2, a tier 3, and a turret. That's kind of the deck composition the developers kind of intended, you know? So I'd like to see that. We don't see a lot of chameleon play nowadays. Typically, mainly because of skunks. It's this interesting situation that the skunk forces the match into, where it's like, you know, in the early game, we're kind of in this tier 1 chicken phase, where it's like, oh, I don't want to let my opponent make more tier 1 than me and just kind of run over me, right? And then when you throw the skunk into that equation, it's like, oh, we've been playing tier 1 chicken, we're at like 12, 15 tier 1, all of a sudden I have a skunk, which is just fantastic against tier 1. You know, obviously that's basically the whole strategy, right? So the chameleon, on the other hand, chameleon's a good assassin unit. It's pretty tanky. It's a bruiser more than anything else. Assassin is kind of a strong word, but you know, chameleons with some good micro can get up on there and take out the skunks before they get a lot done. You know, skunks are so good against tier 1, but they generally, a good rule of thumb is like most other tier 2 are a pretty good answer to the skunk, right? And here we see the gentleman getting his skunk on, but he doesn't have a whole lot of choice, man, as he's got no tier 1 in his deck. And Super Maru is not messing around with a 4 Warren Lizard opening. So I'm a little worried here for the gentleman, man. But he's got turrets at the very least, so, you know, he's going to have those skunks out to deal with the tier 1. He's eventually getting up to those falcons, but gentleman doesn't have a lot of, like, front line to this army. His front line's really going to have to be the ferrets and skunk, and, the skunks and the snakes, but here we go. Super Maru hopping all over this. Absolutely devastating gentleman there. Killing a pig, killing a turret, killing a tier 2 Warren, even killing a campfire. Losing a handful of lizards in the process, sure, but definitely got some great damage done. But gentleman's got a skunk alive, and with some good micro here, you can keep it alive, but gentleman not really microing the skunk, but it actually stays alive anyways. This is a crazy game, dude. Oh man, I wish I could pay more attention to the chat because it seems like there's totally assault war going on. I mean, if you guys want, you know, to really settle this, to end the stream, man, Gentleman versus Valeris show match, it could be done. You know what I'm saying? We could settle it like men. No, I know it's super late where the gentleman lives. Oh, we'll be settled Saturday. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Valeris is representing NA and gentleman is representing EU. So, I'm really, dude, I'm so looking forward to that, man. This Saturday, 2 p.m. EST. It's gonna be a great tournament, man. Me and Strawberry are casting it. Josh and Pedro have been organizing it. Pedro's gonna cast it in French on an alternate stream for you European nerds out there that prefer it in the French language. So it's gonna be good. Final Destination Wolf only. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, if there's a dispute in the chat, man, there's always a way to settle it, and that's some live show matches. So, but gentlemen, man, really doing good this game. You know, I gotta hand it to him. Super Mario's not done anything incorrect. You know, he got a lot of damage done early on. He kind of tech switched over to squirrels, just kind of getting a nice, well-rounded composition. But he needs to be careful, man, because Gentleman's Economy is actually getting pretty scary at this point. You know, he's 5 farms up on Maru and 6 farm on the way. He's got some turrets up. He's getting some balloons, and just this tier 2 army. I mean, the skunks are really a blessing here, but man, yeah, that skunk guy's just wrecking the squirrel count there for Super Mario. For both French people and TNT. Hey man, you know what? It's cool, man. I like it. I like the idea of other language casting. I think that's cool. I think it's funny how often Americans in particular kind of mock other foreign, you know, non-English native speaking people's accents, because it's like, dude, I can't speak any language at all. So the fact that you're talking English and you know other languages, I mean, you've got me beat by freaking miles, man. I'm not gonna say a word. But Gentleman's gonna get aggressive here, and he's got a lot of tier 2 here, man. And after really devastating the scroll count of Super Mario, I think Gentleman's in a great spot. And I don't know what more Super Mario could really do here. He really needs to target down those skunks, but the damage, I feel like, has simply just been dealt. Yeah, that's going to be all she wrote, man. Gentleman takes the game with a random deck. Really cool to see. So, okay. What do we got left here? We did those. What time is it? 9:53. We can do one more. Do one more, guys. We're gonna do a bonk game. You know what? We're gonna end it on some bonkage, guys. I think that's appropriate. I think that's what we're doing here. Where is it at? CJ Mont Johnson. CJ Man Johnson. Why is that so funny? Don't forget, guys, I don't want to sound like a broken record, man, but Saturday we got a big event going on. Definitely tune in. It's going to be on this channel here. There's a link to it. I'm actually just going to link it in chat right here as well. North America versus Europe, guys. We got some great teams lined up. That's a really ugly link. I apologize for that. I don't think captains have been selected yet, though. I'm a little disappointed about that, to be honest, because I'd like to hype up. You know, I have a couple ideas for the event, and one of them's already been implemented. But man, I think it'd be cool because it's gonna be a short tournament. You know, a lot of times tournaments can last a few hours. This should be fairly short. So after the event, you know, if people are still hanging out, we'll just have some fun, do some show matches and stuff. Maybe get a bunch of people on the Discord and just be chatting and BSing and stuff. But I was also thinking about, man, getting the team captains into the Discord in between rounds. Just kind of smack talk, have some fun. I think that'd be a cool idea. Valera says he is the captain of North America. Is that true? I guess I'm gonna have to take him at his word for it. I'm not. Who's the European captain, man? Is it the gentleman? I mean, all right. If I was EU, my captain would probably be the gentleman or Jet Erickson. Like, they're both really good players. Kermit's really good. I don't know. Like, there's so many really good players in this tournament. I don't even want to. Like, Doggo's in here. Like, don't forget about Doggo, man. He's a badass. But EU, you know, the EU team's got his Rodham, Jet Erickson, the Gentleman, Blitzrider, Amari, Kermit, Essenkoller, and North America's got Butterluster, CJ Man Jansen, Valerius, Darius Hart, Doggo, Mishi, the Red Dinosaur, Master Wario, and Chip from Space. Darren Darius Hart won the band tournament. I remember that. Mishi's been. I'm not so. What tournaments has Mishi won? I can't remember any off the top of my head. I mean, a lot of these guys are stacked, man. I recognize basically every player on this list. They're all fantastic players, you know. I mean, the big top 4 to me, like, all right, if I had to choose top 2 players from both teams, I would probably say Jed Erickson and the Gentleman for EU, and for North America, probably Chip and Mishi. But they haven't been super active lately, so maybe guys like Dago and Valeris and Master Warrior have been playing a lot. Maybe take that spot. I'm not so sure, man. It's tough to say. Mishi was second out at Oktoberfest, yeah. I vote for Delthius as EU captain. Another thing I wanted for this tournament, man, which I'm a little bit torn over, because for one, I'm super excited to do an event with Strawberry, man. If you guys don't know Strawberry, he organized a lot of stuff in the early days of Tooth and Tail, you know, right after launch and in the alpha and beta phases, and so it's really cool to be co-casting, co-hosting the event with him. But I woulda, like, I mean, I'm glad to be doing it with Strawberry, don't get me wrong, but it would have been cool if, like, because Jed Erickson's, like, a European caster, right? So if you had, like, a North American and a European caster, because you know me and Strawberry are just going to be super North American biased, right? And if you guys don't know how the format works, so basically the player base for both teams is doesn't really matter, but both teams elect a captain, right? So you go into a round of play, let's say. So in the round, the captain of the team selects 3 players. So let's say for Europe, that's the Gentleman, Amari, and Kermit. And for North America, it's Butterluster, Doggo, and Mishi. So the Gentleman's up front versus Mishi. So whoever wins that game in a best of 1 stays and knocks the other guy out for the round, right? So let's say Gentleman fights Mishi. Mishi loses, Gentleman stays. Gentleman fights Butterluster. Gentleman loses. Butterluster stays, Butterluster fights Amari, Amari wins, so Amari stays, etc., until there's just 1 player left for either team, and that team wins the round, right? So you do round 1, whatever players you want, and then round 2, you can't select the same players from round 1, it's got to be 3 separate players, and then if there's a tie, then you go to round 3, where it can be any of the players, and the captains can play as well, obviously. So it's a really cool format, but it's actually a short format because it's like, I think that the maximum amount of games you can get out of it's like 15 or something. So, and I normally I can do 12 or 15 games in a couple hours, so. I'm 100% sure Mishi is from Michigan. I think Mishi does live in Michigan. I think Mishi is Central or South American, but he lives in the United States. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Oh yeah. Last game, guys. Let's hop into it. Have a little bit of fun here with some bonkage. Oh, wow, his name actually is. Okay, spawning to the right, we've got C-Man Johnson 10. That's got to be CJ Man Jansen just trolling around, right? Because in the left, we've got Bonko, but his ping is 500. I don't know, like, Because we have a North American player named CJ Man Jansen. Great player, been involved in a lot of tournaments and stuff. And, I mean, come on, man. C-Man Johnson? That's a pretty big coincidence. Maybe this is a different guy. I'm not so sure. I mean, he is running a pretty crazy deck, like Boar, Artillery Cannon. I think CJ Man Jansen's normally a pretty big tryhard. What do you guys think, man? Do you think C-Man Johnson is the same person as CJ Man Jansen or not? I want to say, well, you know, I don't think he is, man. I think he's a beginner, which is fine. But, you know, floating the food... not so sure how to react. So I don't know. Maybe he saw the name CJ Man Jansen on the ladder. It was like, that's a cool name, man. I'm gonna be C-Man Johnson. I don't know. That's very, very coincidental. I'm concerned. Alright, but Bonk is actually opening it up here pretty aggressively. Looks like he went for a 5-farm double. And he's going to move out. And C-Man Johnson, that is so weird to say. He actually, I mean, if Bonk target fires this right, he should be able to do a lot of damage here. You know, this is what I was talking about earlier where the 5-farm double, you know, kind of puts you ahead. 3-4 squirrels, and sometimes that's really all you need. And Bonk takes a nice push here. You know, he really needs to kill that pig. He got the worm, which is some decent damage. But I'd love to see him kill this pig. Instead, he decides to just back off and let the game progress from here. Mishi is from Peru, says Obscution. Yes, thank you, thank you. I knew he was from South America. I just wasn't sure what country. Michigan. Yeah, pretty much. Mishi's awesome, man. He's some kind of scientist. He's working on his master's degree. Man, I got a bachelor degree in engineering, and that was enough for me, man. I was thinking about trying to go for a master's, and that is some rough stuff, dude. I'm not so sure if I'm smart enough. Maybe if I try hard. Maybe if I tried hard, but... So, Bonk is getting out a pretty quick Badger here, and looks like C-Man Johnson is trying to take an expansion. Bonk also trying to take an expansion here, but kind of a crazy map here, to be perfectly honest, with all the different hillsides and entry points, you know? Like, Bonk, I mean, this doesn't look that great on paper, but really, you know, this is kind of difficult for C-Man Johnson to attack into. Because C-Man Johnson's kind of got these nice 3 bases and the campfire all packed together, you know, clean and neat, but Bonk's got more. It's just more spread out, right? But Bonk, man, he's going for everything here, and this just kind of showcases what can happen if you play a little bit too passively in Tooth and Tail, right? Because Bonk is getting out this Badger, he's getting out this gristmill, you know, with a bunch of farms on it, and C-Man Johnson's trying to kind of just chilling. I think he's a beginner, you know, so no big deal, but you know, Bonk's been very greedy this game, and it looks like he's going to get away with it. I don't think, yeah, C-Man Johnson knows about the Tier 3. So when that comes out, man, Badger is going to be rocking and rolling all over this map and all over C-Man Johnson's second base. Let's see if he's able to respond to it. Maybe an arty cannon or two, getting that boar out himself, but it might be just a little bit too late as the Badger is about to spawn. Oh, Team NA is gonna totally get the casters on their side. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. I mean, it's gonna be such a biased cast. I can't lie. No, I mean, in a fun way. We'll you know we'll be biased, but let's see it, man. Bonk's coming in, and he's got a hell of an army. C-Man Johnson just a little too greedy here. You know, just kind of really showcasing the importance of like scouting, identifying what your opponent's doing. Because C-Man Johnson is just kind of chilling, you know, building back on his own thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna get a Tier 3. I'm gonna get a ton of bases on it. But the Badger, man, is definitely a rude awakening here for C-Man Johnson. And Bonk is gonna probably take the game from here. I just don't see what C-Man Johnson could really do from this point. All right, Bonk backing out for now, which is never a bad idea. You know, like, Bonk has a lot of money. He's just going to come back. He's going to spend it. You know, he's already got his opponent in a pretty critical position. You don't want to overextend. So he's just making sure all his ducks are in a row, and I'd imagine he's probably going to come out again for another big attack here shortly. Yeah, there he goes. Sorry, man, I'm reading the chat. Dude. Alright. Bonk coming in here. He's got the Badger. C-Man Johnson just really doesn't have much left. Kind of making a final stand. Bonk's just trying to be nice and careful as he approaches this. But he's got more than enough to just run this over. And that is simply going to be it for C-Man Johnson's game. Now, the board does come out, and the Badger actually does go down. So Hang on a second. Maybe C-Man Johnson can do something, but it looks like it's just a little bit too late. Bonko's got plenty of other parts of his army besides that Badger. He's got a ton of tier 2 here. He's got a lot of tier 1. That's going to be it, man. C-Man Johnson's going to be knocked out and Bonk's going to take the game. Alright, guys. That's going to be it for the show, man. Don't forget about Best Sack UNA's Tooth and Tail League going on. Congratulations to the gentlemen for winning Class A there. Class S matches have just begun and they're underway. And don't forget about the tournament on Saturday, man. I can't mention it enough. It's it's gonna be at 2 p.m. It's gonna be me and Strawberry. It's gonna be a great time. North America versus Europe, and I might even just stream. I don't know what my plans are tomorrow night, but I might turn the stream on for a little bit as like a little bit of an extra hype for the tournament stream, man. Play some ranked. It'll be a lot of fun. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really do appreciate it, man. It's always fun hanging out with you guys for a few hours a week. And let's see who we're going to give that host over to. Give me 1 second here. All right. Let's go say hi to my wife, guys. And I'll probably stream some ranked tomorrow night. I'm trying to go over my notes and my upcoming plans here. I don't think I have anything scheduled for tomorrow, so yeah, I'll commit to that. I'll commit to some ranked stream tomorrow night, guys. If you guys want to hang out with me, be some fun, man. Play some games. Might even do some custom games with some audience. That'd be pretty fun. So Xenogears now. She's actually playing Dragon Age. So let's go say hi to my wife, guys. And I will see you nerds probably tomorrow night for a ranked stream. Definitely on Saturday for North America versus Europe tournament. It's going to be super fun. So take care, everyone. I'll see y'all soon.